Okay, first off, I'd like to congratulate our ski team, another national championship, and probably would have had one last year too if we hadn't been called off. But anyways, great job by the skiers. It's a passion of mine. I love skiing, and so very proud of those guys and gals, and again, just a big shout out. It's going to be good to get back on the field. It's been about 3 months since we last were together on the field. Got a lot to accomplish this spring. Right at the top of that list would be starting to get the quarterback situation sorted out. Obviously, Cam Rising will not be able to participate in any of the spring ball activities, so the final sorting out of that position will be done in the fall camp. But we got to get a good start on that and see where we are. We've had a really good off-season program. We call it, it's the first quarter of the 4 quarter training cycle. Spring ball is the second quarter. And so in the first quarter, guys worked hard, made a lot of progress, strength gains, and I think we're in a pretty good position right now to head into spring ball. And so, like I said, we're eager to get back on the field and start working. So questions?
We'll go first to Trevor Allen from KSLSports.com, followed by Patrick Kinahan and Josh Newman. Go ahead, Trevor.
Kyle, I wanted to touch on the wide receiver group. You've obviously had 2 guys transfer out and then also making a change at the coaching position. First off, what was the choice behind changing from Guy Holiday to Chad Bumpus?
Well, we just felt that to take the position group and to the next level and be able to have them continue to progress and develop. And that it's nothing against Coach Holiday. Love Coach Holiday. He's a close friend, but we just felt like maybe a new face, a new voice in that room would be something that would be a positive. And you're right, we do need to add to that group. We did lose a couple guys in the portal, and we're planning on adding guys to the position group, and that will be most likely not until summertime, or at least close to that point. It won't be in the immediate future, and so we're going to continue to look and find the right fits for the additions, and that's the direction we're going.
Next, Patrick Kinahan, 1280 The Zone, followed by Josh Newman.
No, Patrick.
Go ahead, PK. Okay, we'll go to Josh Newman, come back around to PK.
Hey, Kyle, good morning.
Good morning, Josh.
I know that a spring 2 deep needs to be taken with a grain of salt, but can you maybe clarify what the quarterback situation is? You have Charlie listed as the starter, Peter is the backup, and Jock Quinden is not listed at all. Can you maybe clarify what the situation is there?
Well, we typically just put it 2 deep down unless there's a situation where 2 guys are on equal footing. But it's just a very raw, early speculation on what how we're going in and what we feel is the pecking order right now. That could change dramatically as the guys start to take reps. And so really nothing to read into that other than we don't have any guys coming back other than Cam, who won't be participating, and we don't list guys on the 2 deep who will not be participating in spring ball. And so we'll just do a best guess scenario and let it sort itself out. Charlie's the upperclassman of the group, the senior. All the other ones are freshmen, and so just naturally we figured that Charlie would be the leader of that group, at least at the onset, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Just to follow up to that, what are the difficulties, if any, of having such a drastic change to your QB room with Jake and Drew leaving and Charlie and some new guys coming in?
That should be fine in the final analysis. We've got spring ball and all summer to work. They've already got a good start, quarterbacks and receivers in this first 3 months of the year, throwing on their own and getting familiar with each other. And so, spring ball is really, that's what spring ball is for, is to try to get position battles ironed out and get guys situated on the depth chart. So that's our job as coaches to start making those decisions, and we just got to evaluate every day and make the decisions that we feel are the proper ones.
We'll go next to Cole Bagley from the Daily Utah Chronicle, followed by Sammy Mora.
Yeah, good morning, Coach. I was wondering what intrigued you the most about quarterback Charlie Brewer.
The fierce competitive nature that the kid's got. He's, you talk to anyone in that program at Baylor, and they'll tell you who the leader is on the football team and the guy that everybody rallies around. That combined with some really good statistics. He was the second leading passer in Baylor football history, led them to a bunch of wins. I know that the past season was not what he was hoping for, but you look at his body of work at Baylor, and it's very strong, and more than anything else is his leadership and ability to make those around him better.
Next is Sammy Mora, followed by Patrick Kinahan.
Morning, Coach. So obviously you guys had the quarterback and running back position to address with the transfer portal this offseason. What was your guys' main objective with finding guys who fit into the program and fit into the system that you guys have?
Well, exactly just that, finding guys that would be a good fit for us, what we do, not only from a football standpoint, talent standpoint, but personality standpoint. We've got guys in this program. We feel like we've got a great group as far as high character and guys that are team guys, and that's what we were looking for in addition to the football aspect of it. Want to bring in guys in the program or guys that are team players, unselfish, and just want to make our football team better and contribute any way they can.
Next, we'll go to Patrick Kinahan, followed by Steve Bartle from Ute Zone.
If it comes to it on the quarterback position, how will you balance somebody who can help you win immediately versus somebody who might have better long-term potential but doesn't have the experience?
Well, it's all part of the equation. That's a good question because you're looking at not only at the immediate season, but down the road. And you've just got to do the best job that you can as far as balancing that and making the right decision. And typically, all things being equal, winning now is the most important thing. And so that's going to be the top priority. But it all goes into the equation. And obviously, it's going to be a very important decision because that's the most important position on the field. I don't think there's any doubt about that. That's no secret. And so we'll just see how things shake out. But we feel like the room is got a lot of good players in it, and the personalities seem to fit. And getting along exceptionally well. And of course, when we add Cam to the equation in the summer, that gives us one more guy that is going to be right in the hunt.
Steve Bartle, Josh Newman, and Josh Furlong.
Morning, Coach.
Morning.
You've got a pretty unique roster this spring camp, and you've got a majority of the roster are underclassmen, but you also return a healthy number of starters. You returned 3 of your 4 captains and 10 of 14 from the Leadership Council last season. I guess, how unique is this roster, and how beneficial is it to have the experience and leadership returning that you do?
Well, it's the most unique since I've been a football coach, and the reason being is the seniors, super seniors is what we call them, is they don't count in the overall scholarship number. And so we've got a big squad. We have 120 players out for spring ball, and I can't remember ever being above 90. And of course, the pause in their eligibility this past fall is a big reason for that. But we've got a bunch of players in the program right now. It's more of a fall camp field than it is a spring ball field because of the numbers. But you're right, we have I think 70 plus between the freshman and sophomore class, and that's probably the most we've ever had there as well. And again, when you pause the eligibility, things get backed up a little bit. But after this upcoming season, things should get back to more of a normal feel, and the numbers will get back to where they've been in the past.
And then just to follow up, just with the leadership, what is it like to have guys like Devin Lloyd and Mika Tafua and Orlando Amon and those guys kind of setting the example for those young players?
it's invaluable. And you can never have too much great leadership. And those guys you mentioned have been excellent leaders for us. There's some really good leaders in the program that are coming up through the ranks in with the younger guys. And so we feel like we're in good shape with a nucleus of guys that can set the pace and be the guys that everybody looks to and be the example for everybody. So we feel like we're in a good place as far as that goes.
Josh Newman, then Josh Furlong.
Kyle, Kane Savage's shift to wide receiver, is that more of a depth issue right now, or might that be a long-term move for him?
A little bit of both. Obviously we need bodies at wide receiver. That's when we took the hit most recently with losing guys, and not only to the transfer portal, but guys that are unavailable due to injury. And so Kane was an outstanding receiver in high school and was very productive. And so he and Ben Renfro, we moved two players from the defense over to the wide receiver position between Ben and Kane. And whether it's long-term will be determined at the in the spring ball. We'll see how those guys adapt. Ben was also a full-time receiver in high school as well. So those two guys have a lot of experience, and they're there due to the numbers as well as giving an opportunity to see what they can do on that side of the ball. And if it looks like their highest ceiling is going to be moving back to defense after spring ball, we'll make that move. But if it looks like they're settled in and going to be productive at wide receiver, we can keep them there. So that's to be determined, but we probably would not have, in fact, we definitely would not have made those moves had we not had some thinning out of that position.
Quick follow-up, and this is off topic, but has there been any discussion as to whether or not it will be mandated for players to get the vaccine once it's their turn?
I don't think it's going to be mandated. I don't know if you can do that. We're encouraging it, and I think most of our guys will get the vaccine. I can't say that for certain, but I don't think that's something that should be mandated. I think that's an individual decision, but we'll see how that goes.
Josh Furlong, and then our final two will come from Steve Bartle and Trevor Allen.
Hey, Kyle, obviously Ty Jordan's death is not something you guys can easily just forget. But how do you feel like the program in general is doing adjusting to that? Obviously, it's been a few months now, but, adjusting to being able to find a new running back, as well as just understanding kind of the situation that brings and kind of the motivation that'll bring for guys this year.
Yeah, well, it's obviously, as painful as anything I've been through as a football coach. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about Ty. As far as his memory, we are, we have some things in house here that we've done to honor Ty and keep him at the forefront of our minds. And he will definitely be missed. I mean, just not only as a football player, I mean, the football part of it was obvious, but his personality and his charisma and just the way he lit up a room is the thing that I'm going to miss the most. As far as the position itself, we went to the portal and got a couple of really good backs, TJ Pledger out of Oklahoma and Chris Curry out of LSU. So we were able to get some talent in the room in the offseason. And that position with Mekhi Bernard as well. Those three are going to be the headliners of that group. And it'll be a good battle in spring to see how those guys separate themselves. But it's a situation where Ty is on all our minds still. It's been a few months, as you mentioned, but he is he was such a dynamic person, and we just I personally miss him every day.
Quick follow up to that is. Do you feel like some of the players that maybe could have had a chance to go to the NFL or done something like that, maybe some of this kind of helped give them some motivation to want to come back and kind of play their season for Ty, or do you kind of get any of that sense?
That's something you'd have to ask them. I haven't had that exact conversation with these guys as to why. We talked about, with each guy that was in that situation, the pros and cons of leaving and staying and so forth. But as far as on a personal level with Ty, that's something we'd have to answer.
We'll have to make this our last question with Steve Bartle. Go ahead, Steve.
Coach, you addressed the reason and the feeling for why you needed to make a change at the receiver position. I would just be curious to hear why Chad Bumpus was the choice.
Well, Chad was with us back in 2018 as graduate assistant, did a phenomenal job. Seemed to fit really well with our staff and what we were doing. He's since been a full-time coach at a couple different places, done a nice job in those capacities, and just seemed like a guy that he already knew our system. He already knew what we're all about, how we run things, how we operate, and just seemed to be a really good fit. He was very popular with the players when he was here back in 18, and in fact, we have 4 or 5 players still on the roster that were here during that year, and they all were very positive in their viewpoint and opinion of Chad. And it just seemed like a good fit all the way around. So that's the direction.
All right.